Hi there, it's Dermot again. I'm just going to do a talk today on improving self-awareness in recovery. It's important that we do, recovery is all about self-awareness. The more we learn about ourselves, the more we can change about ourselves. So it is important to be open to that, to be open to learning. We're learning from the day we're born to the day we die, so we're always taking on board new information all the time. So just introduce, so we look at disconnection, preoccupation, outside in, clarity of mind, process of change, awakening the senses, inside out, deflecting, reflecting, allowing for mistakes, changing of focus, open-minded, and just to summarize it all up. Right, disconnection. So when you're drinking and drugging, you are disconnected from your thoughts, from your feelings, from your senses, your physical senses, and also disconnected from yourself. Preoccupation. We were totally preoccupied with our drug of choice. That was the first thing that was in your mind. Even when we were sober, we were thinking of or planning the next drink or drug. So it was always there. We were obsessed with our drug of choice and would not have been fully aware of much else going on. So that was predominantly in our mind. Everything kind of revolved around that or planned around that. It's like wearing blinkers. So you only saw what you choose to see or you wanted to see. So the outside in. So this external obsession deprived us from looking at ourselves. So we didn't look internally at ourselves. We just looked at our immediate surroundings in a sense. Our focus was not on how we were or how we were feeling and what we could do for ourselves, but on what we perceived or how we perceived the world and how it was treating us. So it was very much external. I am the way I am because of A, B, C, D, F, G, these people, these things, these situations, etc. The world is a dangerous place was very much a, I suppose, core belief that we would have had. Pardon me, because that's how we would have seen ourselves in it, that the world is a risk. It's a risky place and I can't trust people, I can't trust anything outside of myself. We lived in fear of what might happen to us, even though these fears were very irrational. So we thought the worst was going to happen all the time. And this led to resentments, blame, and then justifications. I'll change when you change. Clarity of mind, we are a whole being, so we are kind of unified, body, spirit, and mind. The mind and the body are connected. Of course they are. When we physically begin to feel well, we will also mentally and emotionally begin to feel better. Going for nice walks and then ask yourself how you feel afterwards. More than likely, you'll feel rejuvenated, like for any of us would. Process of change, both good and bad feelings to come back. Your thoughts in conjunction with your feelings begin to rationalize, so that's what's starting to change within you. You begin to question or challenge previous irrational thoughts and beliefs, so whatever's coming up, you're able to challenge it, see it for what it is. You start to see the wood from the trees. Awakening of senses, your physical senses, especially your sense of smell and taste, begin to return. So that's in the awareness. You start to taste things that you couldn't taste before, smell things that you couldn't smell before. Other physical ailments will become less severe or disappear altogether. Your energy will continue to increase. You'll start to feel, stronger in yourself, feel better, more healthy. You begin to feel more healthy and whole, so you don't feel broken or sick. Inside out, changing from the outside in to the inside out. So, walk down the main street of your town and just notice how many people are actually staring at you, talking about you, or avoiding you. Most likely a lot less than you thought or previously felt. Truth is that no one really cares or is that interested in you. If it is celebrity status that you want, then you will be disappointed by that comment. But for most of us, this awareness is a huge relief, that we feel that we're not being focused, we're not the center of attention or center of focus of other people. We are just us, and just it's about focusing on ourselves and not what other people think about us or what we think other people think about us. So deflecting, we spent a lifetime in addiction focusing on other people, which we did. We compared ourselves mainly in the negative to other people we were never as good as. We justified our drinking or our using for the reason being that we are never as good as other people, or they're different to us, or they had more opportunities than us, I do this because, etc. We rationalized it, we made it normal, or we thought we could make it normal, and we people pleased. We thought if we could keep them happy, they'd stay off our backs and they'd leave us alone to carry on drinking and using. And then when it all went wrong, we blamed everybody and everything else that we could, so that we didn't have to take responsibility for ourselves. And we did anything and everything to take the spotlight off us, and that was the main purpose of that. So reflecting is the opposite of deflecting. So it's looking inward to see how you are emotionally, mentally, and physically. How you're interacting with the outside world. Self-care, including meetings, meditation, routine, balance, relationships, etc. Focusing on how you are progressing and improving. So, how you're changing, how you're getting better, how you're interacting more, becoming more sociable, etc. Acknowledging your achievements, so what you're doing right rather than what you're always doing wrong. To start looking at the things that are actually starting to work for you, within you. So, don't keep looking at everything you've done wrong. Look at everything that, you have done right. You have changed. Allow for mistakes. Addicts are their own worst critics, and we beat ourselves up more than anybody else would. So just take a few moments now to think of a time, even now in recovery, when you berated yourself over something you did wrong. So just even the recent thing that you did wrong. Did you kick yourself? Did you beat yourself up? Did you hit yourself with a big stick? Now ask yourself, if that was someone else who made the same mistake, how would you treat them? Now, would you be as harsh on them as you would be on yourself? Be honest in this one, because probably not. You'd probably be a lot nicer to the other person and be more forgiving and more helpful. So if we didn't make mistakes in life, how on earth would we learn? So we can't see the earth there. And that's how we learn in life. We don't learn from the things we do right. We learn more from the things we do wrong. So it's about not beating yourself up when you do something wrong, but putting it down and saying, well, I never want to do that again, or I never want to do things that way again. So you're learning to do things differently, to change. Changing of focus. So it's not what you see that counts, it's how you see it. As everyone has a different perception of things, and we all see things in a different light, in a different way. So nothing is set in stone, especially our beliefs, they're not set in stone. They can change. If you change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. And that's very, very true. Again, nothing is fixed. Beliefs change, things change, life changes, life is ever evolving. So this applies to everything in life. You know, if you have a negative outlook in life, focus on the positive things in life. So if you've always been a negative person, start to look at, you know, what's the opposite of that, the positive. So what's the bright of that? What's the gratitude? What can you be happy and grateful for? You know, if you feel you can't, won't, or don't, then ask yourself what can and will and do. So just turn it over on its head. You know, I can't do this, I can't do that, it doesn't work. Well, what does? What can you do? You know, how can you do it? You know, it can all be achievable. Open-minded. Do you see it to believe it, or believe it to see it? So be open to everything and attached to or expect nothing. So just remember that, you know, just be open-minded. You know, things do change. Nothing is always as we see it. So, you know, don't, rather than just be rigid and say, oh, it's either that or the other, you know, look at the gray areas, so to say, and take in other people's opinions. You know, don't have to believe them, but take them on board, listen to them, you know, and make that analysis in yourself. So even if you disagree with someone else's point of view, belief, value system, you know, do give them the benefit of the doubt, because that's what they believe in themselves. So you have to allow them to believe that. Closed-minded people are very easily influenced, you know, if they believe what they're told and they take it as gospel. Open-minded people will influence others through wisdom. So if you're open-minded, you're more open to wisdom, to being wise, and people will listen to you more. So never believe what you hear at face value. So always be willing to question things, you know, within your own mind. You know, is it true? How do I know it's true? You know, so do that. Just want to summarize this now. So we're all like sponges, and from the moment of conception until we take our last breath, we're learning. So we're always learning. We never stop learning. We never stop taking in information. It's constant all the time, whilst we're awake, even when we're sleeping. So life is, you know, ever changing, and we're ever evolving. So we're evolving beings, we're growth-seeking beings. Like any other, you know, species on this planet, we're evolving. The planet is evolving. And self-awareness is ongoing. We just need to acknowledge it and learn to harness it better. So it's just about taking on board, and how do you want your life? You know, what do you want in life? You know, I know everybody is, their aspiration or their goal is to be happy, you know, and it's how do we become happy? How do we keep that happiness going? How do we continue being grateful, continue being positive, you know, smiling, laughing, etc. You know, it's how do we keep that going in ourselves? And, you know, we're always aware, so that awareness continues. You know, they used to think that when you got to a certain age, you stop learning, but that's not true. You just continue all the time. So the more self-aware you become, the more you're able to change yourself and your life for the better. So again, as I say, you know, the more you can change, the more you can take control of your life. You know, you can then lead your life to the kind of life that you would like, rather than feeling that life is leading you. You know, so you can choose to be happy, you can choose to be positive, you can choose to make a difference in your own life without relying on other people to do it for you. So from self-awareness comes self-acceptance, accepting yourself for who you are, for what you are, and enlightenment. And that enlightenment is that internal happiness, that internal light, that internal feel-good that you have within you, you know, and nothing and nobody can take that away from you. And it's the journey of life, you know, so enjoy it. So don't be thinking, but when I get to this stage or that stage, then I'll start to enjoy my life. Or, you know, I'm waiting for this to happen, or waiting to retire, or whatever it is. You know, moment by moment, enjoy the moment by the moment, and just enjoy life as it is. Enjoy every sunrise and every sunset. Be grateful for the small things. And that's, you know, the beauty of life comes into play. So just be aware of that, okay, as you're going forward. All right, well, thanks very much for listening. I hope it helps. Okay, well, take care. Bye.